So in the past, we've tested all sorts of things in the crankcase, everything from WD-40, vegetable oil, automatic transmission fluid, and even diesel. And in every case, we saw some different results. This time we're going to test whether or not chainsaw bar and chain oil will work in the crankcase of an engine. What's going to happen? Will the oil foam up, or is it going to work just fine? Is there going to be adequate lubrication, or is there going to be some damage? Anyway, I'm not sure what's going to happen. What I do know is we've got several tests, so let's get the project underway. We have several tests today. One involves this see-through engine. This allows us to see inside the crankcase. We'll see whether or not the bar and chain oil is going to foam up. We're also going to see what happens to bar and chain oil at 15 below zero Fahrenheit. Our lubricity tester will let us know how bar and chain oil compares to 10W30 as far as film strength. We're also going to see if bar and chain oil can help this engine, which has low compression as well as a slight engine knock. Let's take a quick look at the safety data sheet. So what exactly is in the bar and chain oil? 95 to 99% includes highly refined mineral oils. There isn't a CAS number. It also includes 1 to 5% bar and chain oil additive mixture, and this is proprietary. We're going to use a lubricity test to determine whether or not bar and chain oil provides adequate lubrication. The way this setup works is I'll insert a bearing in the bearing holder. This wheel race will spin about 800 RPM. Then once it's up to speed, I'll apply the weight to the bearing race, and then we'll let it run for a solid 30 seconds. Then we'll take the bearing out and see how much scoring is on the bearing, and we'll compare it to 10W30. I've got regular 10W30 oil on the right and bar and chain oil on the left. Just want to show the difference. This 10W30 seems a lot thinner than the bar and chain oil. The bar and chain oil is just really thick, and look how tacky this stuff is. It just really seems to adhere. The 10W30 doesn't seem very tacky. It's not sticking to the fingers. The bearing on the left is the 10W30 from a previous video. The bearing on the right is the bar and chain oil. As you can see, there's a lot more scoring on the bar and chain bearing than there is on the 10W30. So I went ahead and had the bar and chain oil. What we'll do now is let this engine run for a few minutes in the shop, get it fully warmed up, and then I've left a patch of grass in my yard. I've allowed it to grow really tall. We're going to mow it to see how this engine performs under a pretty big load. On the left is the bar and chain oil we did the lubricity test with. Inside this jar is the oil I just drained out of the crankcase. I'm going to go ahead and pour a little bit into the cup next to the original bar and chain oil before it was used. So the bar and chain oil seems like something has changed. The original bar and chain oil, you can see how it's real tacky, see how it's sticking to my fingers and not wanting to let go. Once it's been used a while though, it just doesn't have that tackiness anymore. The bearing on the left is the new bar and chain oil. The bearing on the right shows the wear and tear from it being used. There is no discernible difference between the two. I'm going to go ahead and filter the used bar and chain oil. I added some acetone to thin this out so it doesn't take quite so long to run through the filter. We're going to be looking for any sort of metal contamination. Well, I'm not finding any sort of contamination inside this filter, so it doesn't appear that there's been any damage caused by the bar and chain oil. So is bar and chain oil a good substitute for motor oil? I don't really think it is because we saw some very interesting things from the testing. First off, when it's really cold, it doesn't flow. I realize summer is upon us, so maybe that's not a concern, but it does speak to a big problem, which is this is not designed for an automobile engine. Now, once it's heated up, it loses that tackiness. So any sort of advantage anticipated from having sort of a cushioning effect, from having that tackiness, is going to be lost pretty much the first time you use it. Also, on the lubricity test, we noticed that it just doesn't have very much film strength compared to 10W30 oil, and film strength is incredibly important to avoid wear and for efficiency. Also, what we noticed was inside the engine that had the see-through panel, it did seem to have a little bit of foaming. That's a problem. You don't want your oil to foam at all. Anyway, I really enjoy doing these videos. I learn so much from them every time I do them, and I wouldn't do this video had you guys not recommended it. So please keep the recommendations coming. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you'll like, share, and subscribe. Please take care, and I look forward to seeing you next time.